Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to English 11. My name is Stephanie Wheat, and I will be working with you guys for the next 6 weeks on all the objectives that you need to learn for English 11. My name is Stephanie Wheat. I am currently an 11th grade English teacher at LaFleur High School, and I am super excited to be with you guys for these next few weeks. All right, so what is today's standard? So if you guys will look up here, what you guys are going to be responsible for knowing is that you're going to have to be able to determine two or more themes of central ideas of a text and analyze their development over the course of a text, including how they interact and build on one another to produce a complex account and provide an objective summary of the text. So what does that mean? That is a power-packed standard. So there are all sorts of things that you guys need to know. Now today, basically what we are going to do is you're going to have three objectives. Those objectives are as follows. Identifying theme. Analyze the development over the course of the text and describe the relationship and how they build on one another. So how do we do that? So what this basically means is your job is going to be to determine what the author wants us to think about while we're reading their work. After reading, we need to think about what idea or topics that stay with us. And lastly, what will you remember a year from now about this text? So, what is theme? Now, you have been taught this your entire educational career. But what I want you to know about theme today is this. It's the life lesson, the meaning, the moral, or the message about life, or the human nature that is communicated by any type of literary work. Theme is what the story teaches the readers. Now, can you only find this in a piece of written work? Absolutely not. You can have theme in a movie. You can have theme in a song. And so theme, again, is what it is going to teach you, the audience. Now, what you need to know is that theme is never just one word, ever. All right? It's a complete sentence. And you do not have to agree with theme to be able to identify it. All right? So remember that, because that's going to be very important whenever we start practicing. Now, these are some examples. Money can't buy happiness. Happiness comes from within. Don't judge a book by its cover. It is never as it may seem. And not everybody is your friend, just friendly. Now, although these are common themes that are in text, what you guys need to know that it's more about than just a simple topic. So money could be a topic, or happiness, or judgment, or friendship. But what you guys need to know is that it is more than that. Now, when you're identifying theme, you need to know that themes are not explicit. Now, what does that word explicit mean? It means clearly stated. So it's not just going to be given to you. Themes are implied. You are going to have to use inference in the information that is given to you in order for you to be able to dig it out. All right? And themes are bigger than the entire story within itself, all right? It's the small world kind of thing is the story itself. It's the topic. But what is the overall big picture? The big world of the theme applies to the real world. Remember, it's about life and human communication. Themes are about the big picture. So say, for instance, if we were reading a story about a girl who had these starbursts and all of these friends, or all of these so-called friends, wanted to come and see her and sit beside her at lunch only because she had the starburst. So if that was the case and the only starburst that was left after giving all of these friends her candy was the yellow one, and we knew that the yellow starburst tasted bad, that would not be a good theme, all right? And it wouldn't be that these particular two characters, Judy or Carrie, would be bad friends. You have to think bigger, all right? Think much bigger. You gotta find the real world advice. So, again, small world of the story, big world of the theme as it applies to the real world. So how do we do that, right? So now that you know what theme is, you know you have to identify it. How do you do it? Very simple. All right? So if you don't have any paper to take notes, I need you to make sure that you do. Because these steps are what you guys are going to be using over the next few weeks in all of the passages that we do together and the individual work that you will be working at home. So I give you a couple of seconds to be able to do that before I move on. Ready? Okay, good. All right, so how do we identify theme? Now, firstly, you have to read the entire text. You cannot just read a chunk of the text or a portion of the text and be able to get the overall theme. Not going to happen. So make sure that you read the entire text. Secondly, you need to create a list of topics. So what are the things that the story is actually talking about? Now, it could be like love or family or trust or relationships or loyalty, all right? But you need to be able to pull those out first. Next, what do? Well, you need to pick one of those topics. It doesn't matter which one you start with, and you need to write a sentence about it from the text using this sentence starter. The author believes that. And then you put your topic word in, love, trust, relationship, and then you tell me what the author believes about it, all right? So, example, if we were going to do trust, the first thing, of course, that we do is read the text. The second thing we do is choose a topic. The third thing we do is write the sentence. The author believes that a person needs to learn how to trust others and themselves. Again, that's just a sample sentence, all right? And then the next thing is we cross out the author believes that. And then we have the sentence that's left. That could be a possible theme. So if we cross it out, what we have left is a person needs to learn how to trust others and themselves. We would just capitalize the A and boom, there's our theme. All right? Now, but is that the theme for real? So what you have to do is, in order for it to be a theme, you have to be able to find evidence. Yes, you have to cite evidence from the text. All right? So you're going to list the evidence from the text that supports your claim, which is the theme. If you cannot support it, it is not the theme of the text. All right? Remember, don't be too vague with your sentences. You're 11th graders, so you should be writing complex sentences. Racism is bad. Love is good. Too vague. All right? Better to include why it is bad and why it is good. So be more specific. So, theme is what we learn from the story. Themes must be inferred. You got to read between the lines. Themes are about the big world. Themes are supported with evidence from your text. And themes are never just one word. Now, I'll give you just a few seconds to make sure that you write these things down because you're going to need it. Okay, time to practice. We're going to read a story. We're going to write the possible topics of the passage. We're going to write a sentence about the topic. We're going to identify the supporting evidence. We're going to cross out the author believes that and edit the theme sentence. Now we're going to do that together. Let's practice. Now, I want you to follow along on the screen as I read this passage to you guys. Justin was jealous when his cousin Cassie was named valedictorian of her class. Some people are just born smart, he told himself later as he watched TV on the couch. He had not been with Cassie all of those times when she had studied late into the night. Justin was also jealous when his cousin Victor was elected class president. Some people are just more popular than others, Justin told himself while playing video games on the couch. He had not been with Victor while he tirelessly campaigned, listened sympathetically to the problems of others, and treated everyone he knew with kindness and respect. When Justin's cousin Matthew became the quarterback of the varsity squad, he was still jealous. Justin was envious. Some people are just more athletic than others, he told himself as he played around his computer. Justin had not been with Matthew while Matthew trained relentlessly to develop his athletic abilities. One day, something lucky will happen to me too, Justin told himself as he snacked on junk food. Now, there are several topics within this particular text, all right? So after you read the text, what I would like for you to do is go back through the text. When you're at home and you are actually working on your own with your packets, I want you to be able to underline topics, all right? And if you have a highlighter or a different color pen or pencil, I would like for you to underline those, the supporting evidence that actually supports those topics. Now, what are the topics in this particular passage? Now, the ones that we have found are, one of them could definitely be hard work, all right? The second one could be discipline. And the third one, we know he's a hater, so it could be haterism or it could be jealousy, all right? So we're going to pick the one that we think we will be able to support the most. So which one do you guys think it is? What do you think? What does the author believe about those topics? Now, hard work pays off. That's the one that I think that we should be able to prove the easiest. Now, the author believes what about hard work? So remember, we have to use that sentence starter. The author believes that hard work pays off, but we need more. So let's look for that supporting evidence within this text. Now, as I go back through the text, I know that I can find that the one cousin stayed up late, working hard. The next one campaigned tirelessly. And the third one is relentless training by the other cousin who was the football player. So this is the evidence that I could actually use to be able to support that theme of, or the topic of, hard work paying off. But it's too vague. So what else could we say? What else could we say? How else could we put it to make it more accurate? All right? Let's look at this. Good things don't just happen to you unless you make them happen. Anything worth achieving requires a lot of hard work. Now, have we gotten the topic of hard work? Yes. Have we gotten the information and the supporting evidence? Yes. Did we use the sentence starter? Yes. Did we cross it out and not make the theme very vague? Yes. All right? Good job. So how did we come to that conclusion? Justin spends a lot of time and energy being jealous of the achievements of his cousins. He does not realize that hard work that goes into earning these achievements. He thinks that they are just lucky people, and Justin hopes that he will earn an honorable achievement, but he doesn't want to work for it. He doesn't want to make good things happen. He just wants good things to happen to him. So that is how we actually did that. Now, we're going to let you do this one on your own, all right? So I am going to put the piece up on the screen, and I want you to read it, and then we'll go through the process. I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to do this. All right. So, after you have read that, what are some topics? What are some topics that you guys have actually found when you're reading? I want you to go ahead and write those down now. Try to do 2 to 3, if at all possible. Awesome. All right, so these are 3 that I came up with. Now, I'd love to know if you guys have the same ones. So, we have respect, we have trust, and we have honesty. All right? So, we know that these topics are what were included within this passage, but how do we get theme from that? So, let's figure out how we can use more than one of these or all of them within your theme. So what does the author believe about each of those? All right? Think about it. Let's start with respect. Now, your supporting evidence would be the left the tea set at someone else's house, the friend did. She lied about it. She threw away the remaining pieces. And she thought a more expensive set would be better. We all have those friends, all right? But what do you think that the theme is? Think hard. Now remember, we're going to be using 2 or 3 or all of them within our particular theme this time. Let me show you one way we can do it. All right. Honesty is the best policy. Always treat other people's property with respect, and money isn't everything. It can never replace the sentimental value. All right? So, again, how did I come up with this? Leah damages Nicole's cherished possessions because she does not treat them with respect. And rather than telling Nicole the truth and giving her an opportunity to repair or salvage what was left of the damaged tea set, Leah lies to Nicole and discards her heirlooms, incorrectly believing that a more expensive set will be better. Now, for Nicole, the real value of the tea set was the history attached, and it's not material worth. So those are some of the pieces of evidence that we can use when we're trying to prove that what we think our theme is accurate. All right, so we have a small one. But what I'm going to do is we are going to go ahead and try to start reviewing. Now, one thing that I want you to know is this, all right? I want you to know that you must, when writing your theme, never use the word you, all right? Never, ever, ever use the word you. Now, it's never going to be a command, and it's always going to be a statement. So you guys need to be very careful that when you are writing your themes, that you actually look at those things. Now, sometimes you're going to have to dig really deep within that text, and you're not going to be able to get it on that first read. I'm sure all of you have been taught some type of annotation skills, so make sure that when you are reading the passages at home for next week, for your weekly individual work, that you use those annotation skills that you guys have been taught in order to be able to do exactly what's expected of you. Now, you guys have done a great job today. So we are going to try to wrap it up quickly, and this is what we need to do. Remember, theme is what we learn from the story. It must be inferred. You're going to have to dig deep. Themes are about the big world and those big connections. Themes are supported with evidence from the text, and themes are never just one word. Now, these are the steps one more time in case that you didn't get them written down the first time. Here, the first one is, you gotta read the story, guys. Write the possible topics for the passage. Write a sentence about that topic. Remember, the author believes that respect. The author believes that trust, okay? And then you're going to identify that supporting evidence. Then you're going to look at that same sentence, and you're going to cross out the author believes that, and then you're going to edit your sentence the way that it's supposed to be properly done. You guys have done an amazing job today, and I'm very proud of you. But don't give up. If you're having trouble, there are so many resources out there. Now, your work for this week is as follows. You have been assigned 2 stories that you guys are going to have to read, analyze, find, and identify the themes within the passage. You're going to have to look at the relationships between those themes, and then you're going to have to be able to see how they build upon one another. So, the 2 stories that you guys are going to do this week is, the first one is The Story of the Hour by Kate Chapin, and A White Heron by Sarah Orne Jewett. Now, make sure that you submit those responses to questions 1 through 4 on page 445. So you need to make sure that you guys get this done. Next week, we're going to carry on over with theme. We'll do a quick review, and then we'll actually start on the last part of our objective, which is the objective summary. All right? So, it's our time for today, guys. It's never goodbye. It's always until we meet again. See you next week.